Welcome, Doug.
Hello.
Welcome.
Well, welcome. Yeah, good to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah. How you
I see
doing?
you're doing a lot of these Zoomcasts lately.
Well, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. A few of them with with everything going on. We're always zooming and keeping in touch with everything that's going on. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Doing this show every week. We usually start at 4:30 Eastern,
I
4:30.
know.
So, but we've had some tech. The internet is so overwhelmed these days
Yeah.
that that things happen. Anyways, you spent 12 seasons in the NHL, as I mentioned. You played with the Rangers. You were a second round pick of the Rangers. You played with the Rangers, Winnipeg, Montreal. And then you, after all those, and you are a member of the '86 Stanley Cup team. You were a backup to a guy named Patrick Waugh. What was that like?
Well, like it was a great year. Obviously, my whole career I was very happy for, but to eventually win a Stanley Cup, be part of it, it was an exciting year. Actually, that year was probably the best year I was ever. I had a great year going. It took me 10 games before I got into the season because of the battle that Patrick and Steve Penny had going on, whether who was going to play. And after 10 games, I think our record was 2-8 at that time, and we were in Hartford. And and at the end of the first period, it was 6-0 Hartford, and I knew, oh, I'm gonna get my duty. So I got in there, and I had a good year, and then actually was getting ready for the playoffs when I got hurt. And then obviously when we went into the playoffs, not expecting to even come close to winning the Stanley Cup, but at that time, Patrick got hot and the team got hot. I think the first game that we played in Boston, I know we got outshot like about 16-3 that first period in Boston, and he stood in his head, and then everybody thought, hey man, we got a chance to win this. So we went on to win it. It was good. He was a good guy, and we had a great team that year, and thankful that I had the opportunity to win a Stanley Cup.
Did you see it in him? I mean, during practice, and
Was that?
that he was going to be a Hall of Fame type of goalie.
Well, you knew he was good. It was his first year. He was still talking to the goalposts at that time. You remember? He would turn around and talk to his goalpost. So he had a few little quirky things, but it was good. It was all positive, and he went on to have a great career and a Hall of Famer. So I was happy to be able to play with him.
You are now president and executive director of the Kansas City Youth Hockey Association. How different are the kids now than they were when you A, were growing up, or B, going through hockey as a player?
Well, I think as it's easy to say things are different. I think it's just society's changed a lot, and sports has changed. The game has changed from when we played. I know I was on a podcast with Tommy Laidlaw and Greshner here about a week ago, and I looked back and did a little bit of homework when we were playing junior hockey out west. I played for the Edmonton Oil Kings at that time. And it's amazing the players that came out of the province of Alberta and BC, Saskatchewan, and how really tough the game was back then. Yeah, I think you remember how physical the NHL was back in the 70s and 80s. You go back and watch some of those brawls and that, and you wonder how guys actually survived. It was a hard league, and the game has changed. It's evolved, and it's a better game in the sense that there's more skill and finesse. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a great years that I had. But all in all, I just think society's changed, the game has changed, and everything keeps improving.
Do you think back then when you played that players had to earn more, they keep more goals than they do today? Today it seems like I think, and I've made this opinion made so many times, that Gary Bettman has turned the NHL, and it's, of course, what the NHL does, all the other leagues do, going all the way down to the kids, that they've made it more of NBAism or more of European, less hitting. He wants to take hitting out of the game, more of if you just touch the guy like you do in basketball, it's sort of a foul. You think that's something that has to do with it?
Well, I think the skill level, everything, like I said, everything's evolved. I think the game has changed to the point where it's all about skating and skill and goals and offense, less about the physicalness, the intimidation. There's really no intimidation anymore. And that's what it was back when we played. It was a hard. You had to be a hard person. You had to. It didn't matter if you were a great skater, but if you were a hard fourth liner and you were willing to mix it up, you played in the NHL. And you don't see many players like that anymore. So everything's evolved, like I said. And I think, the game is exciting when you see guys flying around the ice like McDavid and Draisaitl and the rest of the top end players. It's an exciting game when it comes to the playoffs. There's some pretty stinky games during the season, but come playoff time, the players show up and pretty exciting.
Do you think it's more knock it in and knock it out now than it was in your day? Feels like there's no red line anymore. I think they should put the red line back.
I think the game is fine where it is right now. It's open the game up, and that's what they want. It's the entertainment value. You're in the entertainment business, and they've come up with some good rules. And obviously, it's about opening it up and freewheeling and skating and offense and making end-to-end rushes. And it's like I said, the game has evolved, and it is what it is, and you play within those rules. And if you can't play within those rules, then you're not playing. So that's just the way the game is right now. I don't mind the game. I think there could be more physical, a more physical aspect of it. But the other thing is too that nowadays there's so many concussions and injuries in the game. I guess we played through them. Not saying it's a good thing that they did, but that's the way the game was back there. You had to suck it up and get through them. Nowadays, they got spotters, sitting guys that get hit, and maybe we should have had more of that back when we played. There'd be less guys with severe head injuries, but it is what it is, and you went and you worked and you did your job, and you got paid handsomely for it.
How have the kids changed today? How are they to deal with? Uh, you said it's a lot different. In what way are they different than they were when you came up and you played? Do these kids think they can make the NHL, or their goals to play college or just to play?
Well, I think I ran the major junior team in Everett, Washington for a long time, from conception to about 2012, and during the 11 years I was there, the kids did change a little bit. Parents changed. Everybody wants it now. Nobody wants to put their time in. I think it's your career is short, and parents see that and kids see that, and they want to be able to. I remember 16-year-olds coming in at the beginning of the season, and we'd sit down with them, and we had 8 16-year-olds one year in Everett. And I remember sitting down with them and saying, look, you're going to be here. It's going to be tough. There's kids that come in and they don't get a lot of ice time. Some of you will, some of you won't. But I'm just being upfront with you from the beginning. And then everything's great because they made the team. And by Christmas, they're like, how come I'm not playing enough? It's one of those. Why am I not getting enough ice time? Well, you remember the conversation we had. It's a tough league, and you got to put your time in. You got to earn your ice time. And I think most kids do. They earn it, and they want to. But there's the odd exception where they want to, they just want to be given it to them and not earn it. And I think that's the tough part you got to deal with. But I think all in all today, it's just the way society is. You don't maybe have to put as much work into to get what you want.